Well, hello and happy Monday to you. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend, and I invite you and welcome you into the break room. Come on in and let me know where you are tuning in from. I would love to know where you are in the world. All right, so again, our topic today is three things nurses need to know about self care. There may be some things that you may have overlooked as it relates to self care, or maybe some things maybe you haven't understood. So, we're going to talk about it as we get into the day. So, I want to let you know. As always, we are broadcasting live on my YouTube channel. And for those of you who are viewing on YouTube, thank you for joining. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like the video, as well as share it with someone else who you feel could benefit from what we discuss. Also, click on the notification bell so you are alerted when we go live, which we go live every Monday at 7, but you never know, I might surprise you and go live another day, who knows, but feel free to do those things. We're also broadcasting live from both my personal Facebook page and my business Facebook page. So you as well, like the video and go ahead and share with someone who you feel could benefit from what we're talking about. Welcome, Connie. So glad to have you here from North Carolina. Glad to see you. And so we're going to, let me introduce myself. So again, welcome to those that this is your first time watching. And welcome back to those of you who've been here with me before. My name is Deetra Dennis, and I am a registered nurse, and I am the self-care coach for nurses. And what I do is empower my sister nurses in prioritizing the care of their most valuable patient, their MVP, which is themselves, so that they can show up as the best version of themselves every day. And as a result, it impacts the health and life of their family and the community at large. And here at the break room, it is our self-care safe space for nurses. It is our escape from the day-to-day. So we're only in here for a brief moment, to get refreshed, get renewed, and set the tone for the day, as well as for the week. So that is what we do over here. We do have a theme song, it's from the song, There's a Meeting in the Ladies' Room. So there's a meeting in the break room. I know you're up there singing and shaking the shoulders with me. We'll be back real soon. Oh. So again, that is what we do over here. And so again, we're going to talk about the three things nurses need to know about self-care. And I may look down because I do like to prepare for our time together. I like to share valuable information. So I will be looking at my notes. So first of all, I wanted to share, in our profession, it is demands a lot on us physically and emotionally. This is why self-care is so important, because we can get it to a point of caregiving overload. Can you agree? I mean, on the day-to-day basis, whether you're working at the bedside or if you are working in home health or any area of nursing, be it disease management, case management, utilization management, quality, all of it, it requires a lot. Maybe not as much physically when we're working from home, but definitely emotionally, mentally, can be mentally draining. So this is why self-care is so important for us to do this. It's an opportunity to release the stress and, have a work-life harmony, if you will. So we're going to get into, we won't be as long tonight, I don't think. It all depends on the engagement we have, any questions that may arise for during our time together. But I just want to share those three things that nurses need to know about self-care. So the first one I will share with you is that you are worthy of self-care. Can you say it along with me? I am worthy of self-care. Can you say that along with me? Put it in the chat. I am worthy of self-care. And I know it may be a little delay. And if you're watching the replay, I still want you to write it in the comments as well as repeat it. I am worthy of self-care. Now, self-care doesn't require that you earn it or that you reward. It can be a reward for you, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be, it is your human right for self-care. Okay. So I want to see it in the chat now. I want you to say it again. I am worthy of self-care. It is an act of kindness, act of compassion, act of love for who? Your MVP, yourself. Yes, Nita. Either way, nurse or not, yes, you are worthy. I am worthy of self-care. It is so important for us to take care of ourselves. And many times I know, as a caregiver, being a mom, all of that, as women, many times we are having caregiver overload. Can you agree with me? Can you agree with me that many times as women, as moms, we have that caregiving overload spirit? And one of the other things, as we talk about our spirit, the scripture that came to mind as I was preparing for this is that in Mark 12:31, the scripture mentions that was 30 and 31 about it says that there are these two commandments are the greatest of them all. The first one, it says, is to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And it says the second one is to love, in the Message Bible, it says, love your neighbor as well as you love yourself. And the King James says, love thy neighbor as thyself. So if you're loving your neighbor, then you have to love you first, right? So that, to me, again, lets us know that self-care is important and we're worthy to have self-care. So again, that's number one. Number two is that you can practice self-care at work. I know you're saying, girl, what are you talking about? Like, what you talking about, Willis? Yes, you can practice self-care at work. Some examples, staying hydrated, drinking water. Yes, that you can do that at work. And I know many times, especially if you're working in the hospital setting or the bedside setting, and sometimes even working from home, because it can be very demanding if you're working in a call center with doing disease management. Listen, can you just take a restroom break? Can I say that again? Take a restroom break. That is practicing self-care at work. Yes. Can you agree with me on that? And then the other one is asking for support when you need it. Don't be Superwoman, Wonder Woman. Who else was a female superhero? What was Pam's Greer name in the movie? It'll come to me, but none of that. We're none of that. Ask for the support when you need it. Okay. So practicing self-care at work, you can do that. So that was number two. The third one is that self-care doesn't take much time. Have you ever thought that, to say self-care, it means it takes a lot of time to do? Let me know in the chat if you felt that, yeah, self-care takes a lot of time, takes a whole lot for me to do it. Anyone? Oh, I'm sorry. Anyone with that one? So I'll give you two examples. With that is saying no. N-O is a complete sentence. When you're at capacity, it is okay to say no, right? Another one, take a deep breath. Does that take a lot of time? No, right? So those are some things that you can do to practice self-care very quickly. And then going back to the ones I mentioned in number two, drinking water or going to the restroom or just taking a break, period. That is something in practicing self-care. Now, did anything stand out to you as it relates to self-care? The three things you need to know about self-care. So again, number one is that you are worthy of self-care. It is your human right for self-care. Number two, you can practice self-care at work. And work can be not in a setting per se, it can be from home. It is important to do that when you're at home or clinical setting, that you want to make sure that you take time for yourself. And then lastly, self-care doesn't take much time. Let's see. I get it, Nita. I do. I do truly understand that it does. It does. It's hard sometimes to say no, but I'm learning and getting better at it. I understand, and that was definitely a challenge for me many, what can I say, many again, many years, learning to say no, because I felt guilty that I was letting the person down if I said no. But knowing that, okay, I was already at capacity and I was exhausted, so I wasn't showing up as my best self, when I was saying yes to them and didn't say no. So I too need to am better at it. Now I may have a moment where I slip and be like, okay, now why did I say yes? Having this discussion with myself. Why did I say yes? I know I'm tired, or I know I have something else to do, and that's going to cause stress for me, but I go through with it. But I know the next time, listen, pause before you say yes. So I'll say that's a takeaway, to pause before saying yes, if someone asks you to do something. But yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So if there aren't any other questions, like I said, this one was going to be a little short for us today. We're in the break room, so we can't be in here all night anyway. It's our, time to just break away shortly and get our refreshing and renewal. And then we get back to the things we need to do for this evening. So, I always like to end with a quote. So now this one, clutch your pearls. Okay. So listen in, lean in. So this one is, when you're too busy and don't have time for self-care, that's when self-care is really needed and not an excuse to let it go. Okay, so I'm going to say it again for the people in the back and for those in the rafters. So I'm going to say it again. When you're too busy and don't have time for self-care, that's when self-care is really needed and not an excuse to let it go. And let's see, I saw one other. I see you, Nita. Yeah, you said especially with saying no with your children. And I don't have any children that I birthed, but I have my godchildren and my nieces and nephews who I love, love, love dearly. And sometimes, yes, it's a challenge sometimes to say no to them. But at the same time, they understand if you share with them lovingly, maybe not right now, maybe later, if definitely if it's compromising your sleep or, things for your self-care, then, just tell them not right now, maybe later or something like that. But yes, my nieces and nephews and my godchildren, definitely, yes, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, all right, just come on. But again, practicing that, saying no, is very powerful, because no is a full sentence. Any other questions or comments before we say good evening? All right. So if not, look forward to, again, as a reminder, go ahead and like the video on all platforms, on YouTube and Facebook. And on YouTube, you can set your alerts so that set the notification bell so you're alerted when we go live. Again, we're here Mondays at 7 p.m. And if nothing else, I wish you a wonderful week and a continued great evening. And I look forward to seeing you on next Monday. Bye-bye.